So today we are going to review these expensive set of color pencils. Hi guys, my name is Audryn and in this video I'm going to be sharing my thoughts on Polychromos by Faber Castell. Polychromos is one of the most expensive professional artist color pencils, and I'll be talking about its amazing features and the reasons why I think it is worth buying. Number 1, it surpassed Lightfastness. These oil-based color pencils has quite an impressive Lightfastness of 100 years, which means if you're gonna make a portrait or any kind of drawings with these pencils, its colors or pigments are not gonna fade off for the next 100 years. You see these stars on top of each pencils, it represents the Lightfastness of each shade, and most of it has 3 stars. In this set, I could only find 3 shades with 2 stars, which means this color will last for around 50 years, and the ones with 1 star will last a little less than 50 years. But there's no shade in this set with 1 star, so that makes this one of the best options for artists who does commissioned artworks and who wants their work to last forever. Number 2 is the high break resistance. It has a 3.8 mm thick lead, and as you can see, most of the lead is covered by the wooden barrel, which protects the tip of the lead from breaking while working on a sketch or even if you accidentally drop it. Which is a relief because often sharpening the pencils has always been so frustrating to me. This is also an important factor when it comes to realistic sketching, which requires working more on intricate details like animal fur or feather and even human hair. Number 3, the white pencil. I've seen in some brands the white pencil acts as a blending tool, but I don't think the Polychromos white does much of a blending, because while I tried to blend, I felt like it kind of just sits on top by adding another layer, and it just tones down the colors to somewhat pastel shade of it or a lighter shade of it. I'd rather use it to create another shade than using it for blending. This can sound like a problem, but it's not that bad. You can still use it to your advantage. Like, the best way to use these pencils is to layer a few colors on top of each other and burnish with this white on top of all that to create a whole other shade. But personally, I wouldn't want to do this with color pencils because this is something I would do with a wet medium. This is literally like mixing paint. So when working with color pencils or markers, expect the colors to be readily available in the set. But it's also not like I don't want to overlap a few shades to create that layering effect, but don't see myself covering an entire portion of the skin by burnishing. I mean, they could have something like a flesh tone in this set. And that brings us to our next point, the colors in the set. In this 60 set Polychromos, they have a variety of grays and a few shades of brown, which allows you to make portraits with darker skin tones, but they don't have much of an option when it comes to making portraits with lighter skin tones. I still tried to make a portrait with it, and if you've been following me for a while, you'd have known that I made a sketch of Virat Kohli because he's my partner's favorite cricketer, and I thought drawing him would make him happy. But by completing the sketch, I realized that the sketch turned out to look a little grainy. And I actually felt like I failed to create a perfect realistic portrait. And I guess it's okay to feel that way when it's something you're trying for the very first time. But still, just to make sure I haven't missed anything about these pencils, I looked through the tiny booklets to see if I can find something useful. And I was totally surprised to see this. It says Polychromos color pencils can be dissolved with paraffin oil and can be used for paintings. And I was like, really? Because I haven't seen anybody do that before. I went to the store to get paraffin oil, but unfortunately, liquid paraffin was the closest item I could find. Then I picked up an old baby oil I had at home and tried blending Polychromos with both of the solvents so that I can compare the results. And I think both of these solvents did a pretty good job dissolving the pigments. I might even make a whole portrait with these solvents, but only if you guys are interested. You can leave your suggestions on who I should draw in the comments below, and I'll make a sketch of it. Coming next to the most important point when buying these pencils is the price. This was a gift from my fiance, and he got it from an art store in Singapore, but it cost him around 250 Singapore dollars, which is around 13,000 Indian rupees. Where the same 60 set is available on Amazon for around 8,000. It is a huge price difference. But this could also be because Singapore is a little expensive, so the rate might differ in different countries. But if you guys just want to try it out first, they also have a set of 12, which is the smallest pack they have, and the largest set is the set of 120. Another great thing is that you can get each shade of these pencils separately from Amazon and from their website. So when you run out of a shade, you can go get that one shade instead of buying the whole set again. But I don't know if there's gonna be a quality difference between buying from stores and from online sites like Amazon. If you guys had a chance to compare it, please let me know in the comments below. Also, the reason why I prefer getting these directly from the store is that the pencils could be broken inside the case during transportation, because of all the struggles it has to go through. Number 6, the look and feel of it. These pencils have a premium look from the outside. They are smudge proof and waterproof and have a really vibrant color layout. And I think it's the smooth, round wooden barrel that makes it so much more comfortable to hold in hands. As making realistic portraits can involve holding these pencils for such long hours, and these pencils have the perfect diameter, which I think is what makes it so much better to work with. And even though they have a pretty firm lead, they don't feel hard or scratchy or rough on the paper. Instead, it feels really soft and buttery. And this enables you to work smoothly on a lot of layers. And that brings us to our last point, number 7, the right paper. So I've talked a little bit about layering and burnishing earlier in this video, but in order to get the best out of these techniques, you'll need to use the right paper. And I've seen most artists suggest the Bristol paper to be the best paper for blending color pencils, which I don't have right now, but I have the second most commonly suggested hot press watercolor paper, which has a pretty smooth surface and is also thick enough to hold all the layerings and burnishing. But I made this portrait on a 200 GSM sheet from the Ohuhu marker pad, and I guess it did a pretty good job holding all those layers on it. Maybe it's because of the sheet it looks grainy, I'm not sure. But I'll leave the link to all these 3 sketchbooks in the description below so that you can check them out. Finally, my final thoughts on polychromos. It's the perfect choice for artists who are more into realistic type drawings, or even for someone like me who wants to learn and practice realistic sketching. But it's totally up to you. You can use it for anything you like for a quick cartoon sketch or an anime drawing. So a big thanks to my fiance for getting me exactly what I needed. It's also the best choice to gift your friend or your partner. Trust me, it'll make them really happy. I hope this video was helpful to you guys, and if it did help you make up your mind about polychromos, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and to share it with your friends. If I missed any points about these pencils, please leave them in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!